Good morning, stakeholders. It's Waterman.
Metro tunnel struggles only highlight rail loops' costly risks. As thousands of Sydneysiders took their first trip on the new extended metro rail line under the harbour this week, Victorians were forced to reckon with a string of revelations about possible delays, increased project costs and compensation claims on Melbourne's $14 billion metro tunnel.
Waterman here. I'm a public transport infrastructure consultant.
Stories published in The Age this week exposed ongoing problems relating to the electromagnetic interference on sites at Parkville's MacCallum Cancer Centre that may drive up costs and possibly lead to slower train trips. It is staggering that as of Friday, the government admits the impact of trains or equipment is yet to pass acceptable levels. The risks to the hospital's MRI machines were forecast a decade ago. They were discussed in a 2015 inquiry and were the subject of assurances from then Health Minister Jenny MacCallum in State Parliament in 2019. Yet somehow, with the project's opening looming, they remain unresolved. Building a 9-kilometre tunnel beneath the city centre with stations close to heritage-listed buildings, churches and hospitals was never going to be easy. The Grattan Institute and experts such as Bent Fliffberg warned that mega projects like the Metro Tunnel will almost always blow out by huge sums.
There's replacement buses between Box Hill and Parkville.
Sydney's now celebrated new rail line was no exception, running a year late and having doubled in cost to $21 billion. The Metro Tunnel has followed suit, rising from $10.5 billion to $14 billion. Yes, the project has faced challenges beyond the government's direct control. Industrial disputes come with the territory. The pandemic inevitably affected labour and supply, even if construction continued at the time. Global supply chain disruptions have also played a role. The issues revealed this week were firmly within the government's power to resolve, yet it failed to do so. It should be remembered too that this was the government's decision to locate the hospital on top of the already mooted underground station. The impact on the travelling public is contested. The travel time between the two freshly built stations at Parkville and Arden was touted as 2 minutes for a long time. Then the government script talked of 4 to 5 minutes. That has sparked tiresome back and forth about load times and acceleration speeds. The fact is, this is a brand new rail line that should be able to operate at its peak. Failed planning is the hallmark colliery when politicians announce mega projects in the shadow of or during electoral campaigns. Polished renders of underground tunnels and new highways look good on billboards and flyers, but often the project's benefits to the community don't match up to the exorbitant costs. This is not to imply that building ambitious projects is never worthwhile. The Metro Tunnel, which will link Kensington to South Yarra via a new 9-kilometre subway, brings enormous gains to the city's transport network.
Get to you. It's always quiet like. Good morning passengers, just a reminder this train terminates at Box Hill.
There is no denying that it is a long-awaited, large-scale investment in the city's public transport network that will change the way we all get into and around the city. New stations in Arden and North Melbourne will be a boon for these growing areas, while a new passageway under the CBD will take pressure off the city loop, which gets clogged during peak hour and severely constricts the number of trains that can run during our busiest hours. Overall, this is a project that Victorians can genuinely feel proud about building. It will create a low-cost and more environmentally friendly option for future generations, rather than fueling a greater dependence on cars by building more roads. That said, building a worthy project does not absolve the government of its responsibilities to be transparent and careful when spending billions of taxpayer dollars. It is a scandal that Victorians, the investors of these projects, are kept in the dark about their progress, informed of problems only when journalists uncover this information, as The Age did this week.
There's replacement buses between Box Hill and Parkville.
It is also a concern that the government carries out a benefit-cost ratio to evaluate the economic merits of a project only before the project is built, when costs are a mere estimate. This means that by the time they commit to building, the project's economic case is always far rosier than the truth. Since benefit-cost ratios were carried out on Victoria's mega projects, the Metro Tunnel is blown out by $5 billion. The Westgate Tunnel by $4 billion and the North East Link road project by $10 billion. You can be sure that we, the taxpayers, are now running at a loss on each of these builds. The government should be leaning more heavily on the independent advisor on building projects it established, Infrastructure Victoria, to do what it was intended to do, which is to take the politics out of infrastructure. The backdrop to all of this is the government's insistence that it will go ahead with the first stage of the $35 billion suburban rail loop project. Even if it goes to plan, and all recent evidence suggests it will not, that financial imposition looks unbearable for the state. As David Crowe reports today in The Age, the federal government is unwilling to provide any more funding for the project until there is greater evidence of its merits. At least some policymakers are showing some modicum of restraint. It's past time that the government hit pause on the project. The state cannot afford another blowout.
It's Waterman. Welcome to Project Melbourne Metro Underground Rail. It's my job to liaise between the Victorian State Government and STM Asia Pacific Construction to make sure that the project timelines are being kept to and that everything that's being managed under this project is being managed correctly.
Good morning passengers, just a reminder this train terminates at Box Hill.
This article is The Age's view, its editorial, published on August 23, 2024.
We'll be undertaking a short tour of this site, the site of the future Parkville station under the Melbourne Metro Underground Rail project. We'll be taking a short tour of the site, so if you come with me, we'll start right away. Waterman here. Waterman here. I'm a public transport infrastructure consultant. Waterman here. I'm a public transport infrastructure consultant. We'll be undertaking a short tour of this site, the site of the new Parkville station. If you come with me, we'll start right away.
Passengers, please finish boarding. The train is ready to depart. This train is now...
This concludes our tour for today. This ends our tour for today. That ends our tour for today. We hope you enjoyed this insight into the state government's preparations for how your investment money is being spent. here at the site of the proposed new Parkville station as part of the Melbourne Metro Underground Rail project. My name's Waterman. If you have any more questions, you can contact me via the Victorian State Government Department of Transport or SDM Asia Pacific Construction.
We apologise for any inconvenience caused.
Back to business.
For the first time, you'll be able to catch a train directly to the Shrine of Remembrance, Albert Park, Parkville Hospitals, and the University of Melbourne. Melbourne's new Metro Tunnel, arriving 2025, 5 new stations: Arden Station, Parkville Station, State Library Station, Town Hall Station and Anzac Station. The Metro Tunnel will give direct train access to new destinations.
We apologise for any inconvenience caused.
Stakeholders, it's Waterman, and there you have it. That's the more trains, more often.
and